being a generalist was punishment, and now the script is flipped. Now being a generalist is a superpower.
Why should one not learn from ChatGPT? Like, what's your perspective on that?
The boring stuff is what might be necessary to build a real career. Right? Just publishing informational content, you're just making AI companies rich.
I would still say very early in the entire adoption of AI here in Nepal globally as well. But then I think you've been a force to support that. Okay, Punit, welcome. Welcome to Post AI with Alok. Just to start with, you've been teaching programming for so long. You run a very large organization which is built around enabling people to learn programming easily. And you recently posted something about AI has finally given the clear path for us, maybe, to help visualize code. So maybe we can start that. How are you seeing the entire frame of AI in that lens? What was the perspective there? And then how are you seeing Programiz in this scenario at this moment?
Sure. So we started out as a blog.
Yeah.
And this was 2011, right? Where there was value in putting content out. And there was this whole entire industry around publishing informational content that you could sort of put ads on. And there was this whole business of publishing.
Yeah.
And once we transitioned to kind of a SaaS certification-based interactive platform with Programiz.pro, we did that, but we were still, our focus was divided between Programiz.com and Programiz.pro.
Okay.
Right. So because obviously Programiz.com was still the moneymaker and it was still growing on its own. So that publishing kind of business model was still well and alive. And now when AI came over, that was a clear signal that, okay, now our priorities need to change. Now, just publishing informational content, you're just making AI companies rich by, giving them fodder for their training data, right?
Yeah.
So that was what I was talking about, that unless some content or some training, the standard for training has now risen, right? Yeah. And now we can no longer invest on Programiz.com.
Okay.
And now this interactive visual kind of, there has to be more than just any platform that promises to bring a change in your life. Has to be more about just giving you information.
Yeah.
Right. So that clarity, once we achieved that, I think it helped our strategy, because it was like, okay, now basic content is not going to do. So that's why we doubled down on our code visualizer, which is like something different, something that LLMs or these AI tools cannot provide.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Amazing. I think you put it like really nicely. I think there is a big shift of what value is in the post AI world, and especially for content heavy organizations and content heavy businesses. Like when you made the transition, like how was the experience for the team? Because I think the team probably must have been used to building things in a certain way, thinking in a certain way. Obviously, technically building might not have been a major challenge, but then the thought process, there is a big shift between thinking how Programiz.com might have been operating and then Programiz.pro with the new visualizer and everything. How was that change for the team? Was it difficult? How did you make that change happen?
It's a very difficult challenge, because with something like Programiz.com, which is a website that has ads, you don't need to talk to users.
Yeah.
Right. And then you don't need to earn their trust. Like, you still need to deliver good quality content, but they don't need to trust you, because they just found you on Google. They came to a website. They have a certain goal. Maybe they're stuck on a programming problem. Maybe they need the syntax for a certain piece of code. So the relationship is very transactional. They come to the website, they learn whatever they learn, they close the tab, and that transaction or that relationship is done.
Yeah.
Right. And then we do not need to talk to customers, because there was a proxy for customer research, which is tools for SEO like Ahrefs, which tell you, and even Google has some tools that tell you which keyword is being searched how much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So kind of the by searching on Google, every person in the world is giving us data that what is in their mind, what they're searching for. So we used to use all of that data as a proxy for customer research. Now when we are now a SaaS platform, now we are asking someone to pay and put in their credit card. So the element of brand comes in, right? That transition was really hard. It took a few years and we still haven't gone there. I think sometimes we still get stuck in that transactional mode. And this is a lesson for a lot of people, right? Like just because you have an audience does not mean that you will be able to sell to them. It's a different game. But there's also a flip side where a lot of creators in the recent past, nowadays we are seeing that creator-led brands, because again, it's also the opposite, right? For example, if we had started in the opposite direction, where we had started with Programiz.pro, an interactive visual learning platform with a certification, which with support, with lots of extra goodies, with AI and all that. And then we had to distribute that. And then we started sort of the free version of Programiz.pro, like Programiz.com, which is a route most companies take, right? So there's two routes, right? You can build a premium product and then you can think of building a distribution engine around it. We took the opposite route where we built the distribution engine first. And then sort of that website became the source of awareness for Programiz.pro. The second, both are hard, but I feel for someone who's trying to create a platform like Programiz.pro today, because they can build it, obviously. It's not rocket science, but how will they find users? The initial set of users, they need to validate the product, they gain momentum. How will they become a recognizable brand like Programiz, right? So I think we're in a good place in terms of the blog, the tutorials website, Programiz.com has served us well. We have a certain recognition all over the world, brand recognition. All we need to do is now, package everything well and provide value beyond, like, what's the value of coming to a platform like Programiz.pro when all of this content is free, when there's lots of YouTubers teaching this content for free? Why should I not go to Udemy or Coursera? Why should I not learn from ChatGPT? Like, I can ask ChatGPT to create a...
But this is an interesting one. I think, why should one not learn from ChatGPT? Like, what's your perspective on that?
One, there's no standardization, right? For example, if you are trying to apply for a job and you say, I learned from ChatGPT,
it's
going to be a problem, right? How will the company trust that you have the breadth of knowledge required to do the job? So I think one, the proof which we are able to give through the certification is one. Two, again, it's a standard course, right? A professor in California has been using our course to teach his students. And the feedback that we've gotten is we covered like 90 to 95% of the syllabus for most of what is taught in programming, at least beginner programming courses. So we've built the curriculum to be super standard, but we've also tweaked it in the sense that instead of long book or long lectures, we've cut it down into small pieces, right? So there's bite-sized lessons. There's the embedded online code compiler where you can not just see the output of the code, but play around with it. Like you have a curiosity, right? You can try it out on your own. So I think it's not just one piece. All of these things you can't do on ChatGPT. So I think there's still value in basic learning management system, kind of, the hierarchy of, okay, there's a skill path, then there's multiple courses in a skill path, and then every course has chapters and lessons, and someone is guiding you through that process. I think not everybody has the initiative to also be able to explore ChatGPT in the right way. Like, what's the first prompt? Like, you're a non-programmer or you're starting out in programming. What's the prompt you put in?
I think I was a bit quick to jump into the conclusion saying that if someone does from ChatGPT might be a problem. But I think I think the real problem over there is that it is going to be very, very difficult for someone to justify that this is what they have learned or showcase their skills. Because as you mentioned, the right prompting, the right systems, the bigger picture, what are the kind of skills that you need to learn in that process?
And there's one more aspect of it. The one more aspect is when you have so much freedom in which direction you want to go, you will obviously skip the boring stuff.
Yeah.
But the boring stuff is what might be necessary to build a real career, right? And that's the value of a university degree, I feel.
Yeah.
This conversation we always keep on having.
Yeah.
Like there was a subject called operating systems,
Yeah.
which nobody in the class found interesting.
Yeah.
I loved it for
Yeah.
some reason,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And none of that knowledge was useful for me for the first 8 or 9 years of my career.
Okay.
But suddenly I had to build this online compiler, and it all came flooding back to me, right? So, with ChatGPT, you will only learn, or you will only ask it for what you need to, for the solution you need right now.
Yeah.
You won't have that's why we have this things like curriculum design. We have experts. We have so much research going on into, how people learn. What are things that students might require maybe 10 years down the line?
Yeah.
Or even we had classes on economics
Yeah.
in my engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, we were pissed.
Yeah.
We were like, what the hell are we doing?
A lot of people in my engineering days were pissed.
Right. But now I think in hindsight, it feels necessary.
Yeah.
But now imagine trying to do a BTech degree in through ChatGPT. Would you really spend time on economics?
Yeah. No.
Maybe not. You don't have that perspective at that age.
Yeah. Or maybe that thought will not occur
Exactly.
as such, I think.
So someone has to design the experience for you.
Mm. I mean, again, probably that dynamic is changing a bit as well, because in this post-AI world where there are new problems to solve, machines are getting better at doing some part of the tasks, and then people are having to solve newer, probably bigger problems of magnitude, intensity. In that sense, what I'm definitely seeing is that problem solving is a skill that is critical. And I think right now, even when we are building our teams, intangible, might be intangible, might be NAMI, the thing that I'm looking at all the time is that how many problems this person can solve. And the more the number of problems this person is able to solve, the more is the value of this person. And if this person is not able to solve the problem, then probably there is no value in today's time, right? So in that sense, just going back to the certification bit, I do a certification program on Programiz. How do I prove it to a employer, or maybe if they want to start something on their own, that's also there. But then, how do I prove it with a Programiz certification that I can solve problems? Is there a mechanism to it, or is it just like I completed this course certification, or is there a process in which I can tell people that I can solve these many problems? That is why I command this salary, or this is my value in the market.
Yeah. So number one, I think getting a certification or professional certification that the one Programiz provides.
Yeah.
Number one, just the certification. I'm not talking about what you learn during the certification, right? It does show some level of initiative. The competition is high.
Yeah.
There are 10 applicants who are coming with just a degree.
Yeah.
And one of those applicants is saying that I have a certification from Programiz. I have a Python certification from Programiz.
Yeah.
Right. And the job description requires Python knowledge.
Yeah.
Who are you going to hire? Number one.
Yeah.
Even beyond, like, I'm not even going into the validity of the certification.
Yeah.
Because employers don't have time. They are looking for signals of competence, of initiative.
Yes.
And a certification, number one, before it is a sign of competence, it is also a sign of initiative, that you are taking the initiative to spend time doing something that is not mandated by the university degree. That you've spent your own effort and money to do something extra. Right? I think that is going to matter a lot in the post-AI world. And another thing that you talked about is, how do we hire people? How do we identify problem solvers? So I was reading this book called Beyond Entrepreneurship 2.0 by Jim Collins. And he talks about this he has a set of questions that you can ask about a potential employee or an employee to decide if they should stay in your organization or not. Right? And then one of the questions was, if I was to put this person in a different role, would they be able to adapt or not? Right? And if the answer is no, then they will create problems. So I think there was a time when specialization was what mattered. If you're a video guy, you need to do video. You need to be great at video. If you were a programmer, a backend programmer, you needed to be great at backend programming. Right? and that specialization was rewarded by the market. Even marketing. A lot of the podcasts I listen to about marketing nowadays, this is the theme that people are talking about, that being a generalist was punishment. It was constant identity crisis for some time. And now the script is flipped. Now being a generalist is a superpower. That might change again in the future, right? But I feel like this is one change, that if you are stuck in your role, that this is my expertise, I won't do anything else, or I won't learn anything else, you have to drop your ego now. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think you make a very interesting point there about signals, and I think like while we're building tangible as well, this is something that we are seeing, that maybe there is a competence problem, but the skill gap is actually a signal problem more than a competence problem. We don't know. So I think what you're saying is, if there are like 3 to 4 signals that we're looking for, certification is a signal of initiative. If I framed it correctly.
Initiative first, and competence. Now I can come to the competence, right? Again, if you look at one time, like there was a time when like all these massive online courses, like MOOCs, Coursera's, EDX of the world, they challenged the education system as we knew it. Everybody thought, okay, Harvard is dead, Stanford is dead. All the education system which we have built, now education is free, and people will get certifications on their own. A 4-year degree will die. It's all well and aligned, right? So what happened? How did people go from being proud of doing a Coursera certification to now, if I see someone posting a Coursera certification, I don't, even if it has all the big logos, all the big universities on it, I don't really trust that certification. So a certification is a very, sensitive thing. If it is too easy, it will lose its value. And that is something that we put at the core while building Programiz.pro, is that someone should not be able to just watch videos or read some text and get that certification, right? So a certification, or even if university degree, for example, why is a degree from INSEAD considered valuable? Because the hurdles the university places in the process of getting that degree is high, right? So again, that signals both initiative and competence, right? Just like that, when we designed Programiz.pro, we made sure that it wasn't easy to get the certification. Even now, if someone comes to me with a Programiz Python certification, I can guarantee, I have a certain guarantee that they know how to write Python code. That is the guarantee that we want to give to employers. That if someone is coming to you, this person cannot get a certification without having actually solved programming challenges. There are, I think, 50 programming challenges in the process of getting a Python certification. Then there's other signals as well in the platform. There's hundreds and thousands of programming challenges. And for every programming challenge you solve, you get experience points, and you can join the leaderboard. So that is also another signal that we give to employers, right? That in an open competition of Python programmers all over the world, I was number 1 in the global leaderboard, or I was number 10, right? So I think employees today, if you're looking for a job, you need to think about, how can I generate all these signals? What are the platforms that can give me all these positive signals of hireability? How can I be adaptive? Like I said, today it's Python. Tomorrow some other programming language might come. How can I have the fundamentals be so strong that I can adapt to any changes in the environment?
I totally agree. And I think coming back to the point you made about college, I see there is a dilemma, because let's say, for example, you studied in India, I studied in India. Placement is a massive thing in India. And I think every college, if you look at it, we place people in this companies, that companies. That's always there in India, and also here in Nepal and other markets like Nepal, we see that as a priority for every college. But then with this changing landscape, I think the education institutes who actually stay true to the value of providing that space, providing the general landscape, providing a place for people to connect, hosting those conversations. I think that have a lot more value, definitely, in my perspective. And then obviously, if people want to specialize in some area, they will probably take a path, probably do something on the side. And I think that's probably how the education will probably evolve. But where I see a bit of a challenge is that if a college is trying to become a college plus a training center plus a placement center and everything, that's where the main value proposition, I think, gets diluted. I don't know if you agree or if you have a different perspective on
Makes sense. I think you also have to this debate of the role of academia. Right? Is it research? And I believe that it is. Universities have to produce new knowledge.
Yeah.
If a university is not producing new knowledge, it's not a university. It's a training center. Right. So I think that's the number one goal of university is to create new knowledge. Because that is something the industry cannot do by themselves. That is why there's this huge collaboration in the US, right? Or in all advanced economies where companies separate certain amount of money to invest in universities and in research projects and all that benefit them, obviously. But there's also independent research that nobody will fund that the university should still be doing because it is good for the world. So there's two aspects to the university, but also, again, we talk about all these jobless PhDs, which is a big issue in itself, that you have very deep research or knowledge in one field, but the market will not pay for that knowledge. So in fact, a lot of people on Programiz.pro are that kind of people as well. That, you have deep knowledge about, so for example, bioinformatics or whatever, that involves certain skills or attitudes that might be useful in any technical field. But, on paper, you don't have the skills, right? So how do you build but they can always build those skills. So platform like Programiz can also fit in that requirement, that you get a Python certification. And now the difference between what an employer expects and what you have done is smaller, right? So how do we reduce that gap? So twofold, I think the fundamentals, teaching the fundamentals, teaching the boring stuff, which might not be apparent to the student at the time, making sure that, as you said, there's a nice environment of learning, of interacting with other members of the community. And then research. I still feel research is number one. If a university is not doing research, I think they will, again, so many transformative things have come from universities, right?
Exactly.
It takes time for the industry to absorb all the innovation happening in universities and make it palatable to the general audience. But so much has come from universities, and they still have that role.
I think that also brings to a very different kind of scenario that you have right now. So right now in a post AI state, there is incredible demand. People want to get into AI. People want to learn AI. There is, like, it's almost become a household conversation about AI. Like, I talk about AI with my father. I talk about AI to my sister. Father talks to his friend. This kind of adoption has never happened. But when we see this kind of scenario, the research acumen globally is not at that level to actually hold the demand that is coming from the other side. So what we are seeing is a massive skilling gap on how are people. So people want to get into it, but how are people going to get skilled into the process? That is something that we keep on questioning a lot, and then see what could be the product services that could be brought into the space. I see this in, like, I was under the impression that this is a problem with countries like Nepal where the resources are less, and then I went to India. I saw a bigger problem. Universities who have research centers with them have capacity to skill people, but if our university does not have a research infrastructure with them, then it becomes very, very difficult to actually skill people very tangibly in AI. Do you see that in the space? And then again, because Programiz is building a fundamental skill towards AI skilling, how do you see that spectrum from your lens?
there's multiple layers to it.
Yeah.
Number one, AI is such a buzzword. Right?
Yeah.
It means so many things.
Yeah.
And learning AI,
Yeah.
what does it even mean to learn AI? If you're a banker, learning AI might mean something else to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're an AI researcher, learning AI means something. So what does AI competence even mean?
Yeah.
So there's so many layers to it.
Yeah.
But the way I see it is, number one is prompting,
Yeah.
right? And I'll give you a very practical example. So we recently built a project called Wall of Inspiration,
Okay.
which has 50 Python projects
Yeah.
that you can look at and
Yeah.
you can get inspired by.
Yeah.
And many of these are very beginner AI projects.
Yeah. Yeah.
For example, there's one called Speak Like Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
So it will ask you for a sentence in English,
Okay.
and it will turn it into Shakespearean
Okay.
English. Very simple.
Yeah.
Uses the OpenAI
Yeah.
models, right? But just even that is such a nice thing for someone to build by themselves,
Yeah.
right? Then they understand the concept of, okay, there's a system prompt, there's a user prompt,
Yeah.
and then there's some Python code
Yeah.
tying everything together, and then it's giving me this output.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a terminal version of ChatGPT,
Yeah.
fine-tuned to a certain task.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine you do 15 or 20 of these tasks.
Yeah.
You have a better perspective of prompting. You're not just using the ChatGPT or the cloud UI.
Mm-hmm.
You are able to tie things together. Like for example, if you can do that, you can take the output of one prompt and then automatically send it to another prompt. You can chain things together.
Yeah.
Number one,
Yeah.
right? And obviously there's a whole thing about what to prompt, how
Yeah.
to prompt, all of these, but I don't want to get too much into it.
Yeah.
Another was, again, a very practical example. So we built these 50 projects,
Yeah.
and we wanted to use AI to create the thumbnails for all these projects.
Mm-hmm.
And the team sat together and everybody started prompting, right? For example, for the Shakespeare one, people would type, I built this project, create a YouTube thumbnail for an app that takes English and turns it to Shakespeare in English.
Uh-huh.
And they were constantly complaining that the AI was not doing the job well.
Yeah.
And reprompting, the problem was the original image would, the things they liked about the original image would go away,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was and the image generation was also slow.
Okay.
But I had this perspective that, so what I did was, I took the image and I asked ChatGPT to describe the image in YAML format. YAML is like a structured markup format that is a technical representation of data.
Yeah.
Right? So it generated the YAML, which is again a technical concept, a concept from programming.
Yeah.
And then I saw the YAML, and one thing was, it was such a great learning because now I know how the AI describes an image.
Yeah.
Or how an AI describes an image to the point where how it understands text, right? This multimodal capability.
Yeah.
And I made changes to the YAML file now, or YAML text.
Yeah.
And then sent that prompt to ChatGPT,
Yeah.
and then it generated the right image, right?
Okay.
So, and that's what I do nowadays. If I need to generate an image, I will first generate a hacky image with text. I will send that to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to describe it in extremely excruciating detail in YAML format or a structured format. Or you can use XML, JSON, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I tweak that text. And then again, I tell it to improve the text. Again, text. Because now this knowledge that, of using multimodality and giving the structured data so that the AI can parse it better, it makes me 10 times more productive than any other prompt.
Yeah,
right?
It does.
So this is one layer. Another layer of using your technical skills to become a better prompter than anyone else.
Yeah. So what you just mentioned, I think this shows a very clear distinction between being a technical person in the programming sense and a non-technical person, because a non-technical person will also generate that image, look at that image, and probably keep on talking to ChatGPT in the same way. He improved this, improve that, add this, add that. But you took the other way, right? So now that gives, and this is a trend that I've seen as well, that non-technical people can use AI and take products or anything that they're building to a level. After that, there is a technical lens that is very, very important. Right. And I see a bigger market that is evolving where non-technical founders are taking a product to a certain level, and then suddenly there is so much of need of technical workforce to join in, so that those products can be made better and then kept on for longer duration, right? So, and then what you just said just clearly signifies that gap, because a non-technical person would not think like that, right? So how do you think a non-technical person who can go from 0 to 1 now, thanks to AI, go from 1 to maybe 3, 4, 5 by learning technical skills? Like, how do you think that can happen?
First, number one, I think it's a good thing. The fact that a lawyer can build a legal tech system, exactly. A doctor can build an app for themselves, right? I think engineers have handcuffed non-technical people for too long. That you have to come to me. And then there was a lot of shitty software being built that was not empathetic to the users, right? So I think software in general is going to be more empathetic. Because now they have the card. The people with domain knowledge now have this AI card that they can say, bro, if you don't listen to me, if you don't build the software that I want you to build, I'm going to use AI and build it myself. It might not be as powerful or scalable as what you build for me, but you can't blackmail me now. Number one. Number two, I think the range of software that is going to be built is higher. Because there's so many small softwares that people would not, have the incentive to build, right? Because the software might have only one user. It might be something that only you do, but now you can build it yourself. So I see this AI wave as from the lens. I think AI should always be seen from the lens of accessibility. AI, as long as AI increases accessibility, and this whole idea of vibe coding, that you explain what you want, kind of going from declarative to imperative in terms of if you know what you want and if you can describe what you want sufficiently in sufficient detail, the AI will build that for you. This is a good thing for the world. More software will be built. More apps will be built. And as you mentioned, right, the demand for software engineering will increase. Not decrease. Because after a point, you can only use Replit and Vercel and all of these tools, Lovable, to build an MVP, get a few customers, and then get a software engineer to build it from scratch or improve upon what the AI has already built.
And it'll probably make the software engineer a lot more efficient as well. Like if they already are able to visualize the flows, see how it is working, where the user is interacting. Rather than just like building it from the scratch, because we have seen a lot of products which has been very tied to engineering, not, as you mentioned, not very empathetic to the customer. And I think that bridge is becoming smaller, or that gap is becoming smaller. There is a bridge of AI that is actually getting placed over there, where people can actually build something, see, prototype, try it out with some users. But I think this is not really a call to action, but then I think this is a very important thing that non-technical people should really keep an eye on, that with the technology that we have right now, we can build technology, but then to a certain level. After that, there is going to be some competence. Either we invest incredible amount of time to build it, or we start building very productive teams around us, which can actually keep on building this product.
Right. But these are specifics. I think the larger blanket idea is that there's two schools of thought going around. One is software is dead. The more popular one. I think it's so easy to say something is dead, because it gets you viral on LinkedIn.
But then I think it is also a bit of frustration coming from the other side, because the engineering has tied the other people for such 100%. A long time that 100%. Now the other person is saying that, okay, now I can build it. So there is some capability that is built within them, and then, okay, now I can build it, but then as I get closer, then I see the nuances of it. And once I see the nuances of it, I think both the communities are coming to a point where they will understand the importance of the other community even more.
Right.
Because as you mentioned, to build a tech product, we need a very, very competent tech team, but we also need a very, very competent market team that talks to the customers, sees what is important, what is not important, so that we are not building features, technology that is like totally irrelevant and just looks, just has engineering value, but does not really have any market value. So I think that I see is changing a lot.
That, and I think one aspect of code plus AI, this combination that people are not talking about enough, is AI reducing the cost of onboarding a new set of engineers.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It used to take months for a new engineer to join a team and start producing something.
Mm-hmm.
Now you join a code base,
Yeah.
you start asking AI to explain it to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ask AI to start making few changes. You look at obviously you need to make sure you need to audit the changes that AI is making.
Yeah.
But you can contribute from not day one, but minute one almost now, right?
Yeah.
So I think that is, there's again, I think the conversation about AI becomes so difficult because even if you say, okay, AI in software engineering, let's take that theme.
Yeah.
There's so many layers to it. One is apps like Lovable, like almost vertical SaaS, like Lovable, Replit, where you prompt and then it shows you it builds the app for you.
Yeah.
But there's Copilot and Cursor, which are more productivity tools for technical users, right? Then there's other software that small pieces of software that AI can do. For example, transcription, right? So these utility pieces that aren't essentially LLMs. Then there's predictive models, obviously the classical machine learning style AI. So I think AI is such a blanket statement. There's RAG, all of that. So I mean, let me finish the conversation I started before. Is the popular narrative of software is dead? I don't believe it. I think the software is going to enter a glorious new
I agree
state where there will be more software being built. There will be more useful software being built, and software will become something that even kids build. A lot more people will be building software. A lot more people will be excited about software, and I think it's also we got hijacked as a society. I feel, right, by the big companies. For example, what are the 5 apps on your phone? The ones that you use: Gmail, Facebook,
WhatsApp.
Insta, WhatsApp, all built by huge corporations. Now you'll see maybe 5 years down the line there'll be more indie softwares like before. Because again, software building at scale becomes more accessible to a lot more people. I like that word. I think we will enter another golden age of software building, very similar to the open source movement. Again, the corporations captured the open source as well, right? They started contributing to open source. They started sort of owning huge open source projects. That wasn't supposed to be how like open source worked. It was all about indie people, independent creators, creating wonderful projects and contributing to projects in their free time. It was never supposed to be a huge corporations leading the charge like that. So I think that happened to software, and it's not good. I think AI is going to democratize access to coding, access to creativity, access to creation. Right? It is going to be an exciting. I'll give you examples. We already have 4 or 5 internal apps. Programiz, all of my companies that solve problems for us. Very specific problems for us, which we would not have the bandwidth to build had Lovable not existed, or had this new wave of, I know what my requirements are. You build it for me and deploy it for me. Number one. Number two, I think people confuse Lovable with something that generates code, right? But what Replit and Lovable have done, they're not just AI, but they are deployable AI, right? I think people underestimate the value of Lovable, how it easily deploys the software. That was the biggest. That's why these are billion-dollar companies. Like you can take the foundational models and build a Lovable on your own. But what's the value is how easy it is to deploy. And how easy it is to share with other people the software that you built and get feedback and have data be persistent in the software, right? So again, this idea of the domain expert building the MVP themselves without needing a tech team, right? So fascinating, right? Like a mental health expert builds an app for one patient, just one patient, who has a very specific life and very specific problems, right? That's a wonder. I think that's a better word.
It is like, as you're speaking, the only thing that is coming to my mind is like, what is going to happen to interface, and how is software going to adapt to the new changing landscape of how do we actually use technology or communicate with technology. I totally agree with the point that software is not dead. I think that's maybe a narrative play from somewhere. But then right now, and there is another narrative that software engineers will lose jobs, like they'll have no other skills, they can just code, like no other soft skills, all these kind of narratives are there. But then software is a place, as you mentioned, whose addressable market can grow 10,000 times. Like it can be so much bigger. But then what I also see is that the software right now that has economic value is a subscription based software, right? Moving forward, it is going to be a success based model. So if it can create value, I'll pay for it, because there are going to be so many softwares. I will not pay for subscription. I'll pay if you do my job. I'll pay. Probably I'll pay extra. But then if I just create and start running the economic engine right, like it's happening right now, it in my lens probably will not work in the future, right? So how do tech people adapt to it in your lens? Do you have a framework?
I think this change in business model came from because see, what you know affects how you build things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the people who build these AI models, I mean AI products, vertical SaaS on top of AI models, foundational AI models, they came from an AI world, obviously.
Yeah.
Where the idea of tokens, all of these were already present, right? So when they had to price their products, they were like, why not, use the same ideas of tokens?
Yeah.
And I pay for whatever I use.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it wasn't planned. This switch from seed-based pricing to usage-based.
Yeah.
I think it's just the creators. They came from this other world where that felt obvious, where everything was budgeted. Right. You have to train. You need a lot of data to train.
Yeah.
So everything was resource. Yeah. So because these creators came from this resource intensive and kind of you pay for each resource kind of background, when they did pricing, that felt natural to them. And I think once few people succeed in a certain way, everybody copies, right? Like HubSpot is a great example. Yeah. Everybody was outbound, let me call people, let me email people. And then HubSpot ran this inbound playbook where they said, you know what, I will create free value on my website and I will teach the world how to market products. And then they will come to me and then they will buy my product unprompted by themselves by putting in the credit card. Yeah. Right. Once HubSpot did it, everybody started. Yeah. This inbound movement started and everybody started doing it. Yeah. Salesforce. Yeah. Right. The idea of a cloud-based system where your data lives some on a server that you don't control, that you don't even know, was completely new. Yeah. But Salesforce did it, and then this whole SaaS movement started from there. So I think now the kick has been given. Yeah. Now I think every company in the world now needs to think: is this traditional SaaS-based, seed-based model going to work any longer or not?
Maybe for some use cases, but then majority, like even when we go around and see different use cases worldwide, we see companies shifting away from this kind of models, where they are like, again, let's say for example, like when we're building tangible, for us, like if a company is wanting to hire someone using tangible, then we don't want to charge them on you use the platform and then you pay a certain amount. You get what you want and then you pay. Probably you pay higher, and I think that's the opportunity I see with AI, that if we can actually master the work domain that we are operating in, then we'll be able to create value at a much higher level. We'll be able to stitch the workflows that can create a lot more value that people will be willing to pay at the end, because it's solving a bigger problem for them. I see the software movement moving in that direction.
I think there's something I want to add here. Is why didn't this conversation start before? Why this conversation now all of a sudden?
That's an interesting question. I think we're able to visualize that business model a lot more easily. I think there are nuances to it, right? There are different sides to it. Let's say initially, now I'm thinking out loud. Initially, we had engineers we were building products. That product is adding some value. Let's say, for example, right now, we work with a lot of banks. We go to a lot of banks. Is the banking software that is implemented in the banks intuitive? No. No chance it is intuitive. Everyone has to go through so many training and retraining of how to use the software, right? But it is not built from the other way around, right? So the technical workforce was able to build a software that was solving a problem for them that that is not intuitive, but still a better off solution, right? So that I think enabled the entire proposition of okay, it is solving a problem. I'll pay for it this much. It makes business sense. And I think probably I'm paying for it. But then I think my point is still towards the problem that on a bank manager's workflow, the software right now is solving maybe 20-30% of the problem just because it's streamlining some workflows and things like that. But with AI, the pie can go to like 70%, 80% with just how intuitive the interface is going to be, how the conversation flow is going to be. Bank manager probably can just like pick up the phone and then say that, okay, what is the collection that I have today? Just voice, and then get the answer. That same workflow, the bank manager probably had to go to a system, see there and everything. So I think it is making it will make people's life easier. So that is solving more problems. So as we solve more problems, we'll be at a stage where people will be able to, will be willing to pay more. Again, thinking out loud, I don't know what you think.
Yeah, so that's one aspect of it is when you go from a software and the idea of productivity.
Yeah.
Right, like 20% more productive, 20% more effective. When you go from this to the idea of AI workflows, the productivity levels that the software can get you or the AI-driven software can get you are much higher. And that is why people would be willing to pay more for an AI software than a regular SaaS software. That database tables and all. But there's another aspect to it, which is, for example, I am charging $20 a month for Programiz.pro. Right? Alok, you come into Programiz.pro and decide that I am going to squeeze the value out of this product like crazy. Right? You use it from morning to day, even at night. You use it like for a month. The incremental cost of serving you, of serving a power user, is nothing for me because of the traditional tech stack that is so efficient. Right? Because the cost this has been going on for so long. This idea of that there's a database, there's a UI, there's a server. So this has been optimized to the point where the incremental cost of serving an extra SaaS user is and a power user is zero. That's not true for AI. So if I have AI powered software, that is maybe I'm using an OpenAI model. Every action you take has a cost for me, a real cost for me. So one power user who goes crazy with the software can actually cost me money. And I think this is what's driving the difference in pricing as well. And you can see, this, right? Like Cursor was recently, I think they did something with their pricing where they put certain limits on usage and people were pissed because they had paid for a higher limit. And people started reaching those limits in 2 days. Because Cursor, they don't have a choice. People are using the software like crazy, like insane, and it's the money that they're getting from these power users is not, they're running those at a loss. So I think this is something that's changed and that is driving the pricing. In addition to what you said about the value that a software can give me is, just insane. You can replace an entire workflow force with AI.
So I think like there are three things that came as a part of this discussion, right? One is your subscription-based pricing. Second is your usage-based pricing. And third is the success-based pricing. That is like, let's say...
Or you combine.
Let's say, for example, could there be a stage with, let's say, Programiz, where I say that I'll come to Programiz, I have 6 months, I want to land a job, let's say, for example, $50,000 yearly it can pay me. Once I get the job, I'll pay maybe 10K to Programiz. The subscription would have been a lot more lesser, but then once I succeed in my journey, that's when I'll pay. Do you think that kind of pricing is going to be possible for?
That kind of pricing is already there. I think especially in the global south, this kind of pricing has worked. I've seen examples of these in Africa, Latin America, right? So I think the global south is more attuned to this kind of pricing than the global north. and I think this is sad, right? Like we copy so much from the north.
Yeah.
I think we need to be open to new ideas of pricing and new models of pricing. 100%.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example, like how the environment changes how we price things. Right? Like our biggest competitor, Codecademy.
Yeah.
Their whole narrative was we hate boot camps. They literally ran ads against boot camps.
Okay.
And now they're running live courses because they have to live with the reality that a self-paced course with no human interaction. Again, what's the value, right?
Yeah.
And people, and because when everybody has access to more resources with AI, then how do you stand out?
Yeah.
Because the employer only has, so it's such a huge problem, right?
Yeah.
Everybody has more access to information, but employers need less people.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to create a rift in society for some time until we understand things. But longer term, I am pro AI. Like I feel like obviously there's lots of things that we need to be like, it's a new technology. It's a double-edged sword. As long as we think of AI in terms of how does it make things more accessible. I think AI with the accessibility lens needs, those two should go hand in hand. As long as we keep that filter, is this increasing accessibility or not?
So in terms of accessibility, right, there was this big conversation about having to pay for models that are from US, from China. And then we suddenly see in the last few months, especially in India, we see a lot of like Perplexity and then OpenAI having different kinds of pricing scenarios that they have built, partnerships that they have built. Airtel is giving free subscriptions to all its users and things like that. Do you think that accessibility is a problem, like for a place like Nepal, where it is happening just there in India, and over here people still have to pay a lot of price for all these technologies, and not just in Nepal, in Nepal-like scenarios? Do you think that accessibility, unless there is a bigger industrial or governmental intervention there, do you think that is going to keep on getting wider and wider? Because it is a new technology. People will understand how to use it once they start using it almost on an everyday basis. So if they are not using it on an everyday basis, they have an illusion that this is a new technology that is changing everything, but then actually no value is getting created. Like, do you think it is actually, does it make sense to operate out of places like Nepal in this post-AI world where accessibility is not addressed as such for technology like AI?
Got it. There's two answers here. One is, I think I've talked about this before. The fact that you could not get a dollar credit card was a huge issue. Right. I think it blocked a huge entire generation of Nepalese from trying out a lot of digital innovations. Right. Even if you had money in your cash in your pocket, lakhs and lakhs of like rupees in your pocket, you could not try a basic software. Even now, buying a Netflix subscription is not easy.
Not easy.
Right. So number one, that this entire model of assuming that everybody has a credit card. Again, this is like the global north projecting their biases over the world, right? And I think these are correction. What's happening right now with Perplexity giving Airtel users free access is they know that there's a huge group of people who will get hooked to the software if you give it for free now, and they will become our users. And it's also this almost this decades long perspective, right? All kudos to Perplexity for doing that, for building those partnerships. I think distribution, I really appreciate these kinds of distribution models where you give value now and then you don't expect any value now. Now you educate the audience. And this conversation comes with Programiz as well. A lot of people ask me, why don't you sell to Nepalese colleges? Why don't you sell in Nepal? Why don't you sell through E-Seva Khalti and all that? And I always say that, this should be free. And people should experience coding. And the more Nepalese people experience coding, it's better for me, right? Because it creates a nice environment in Nepal for us to grow, and it supports our narrative when those Nepalese go abroad. Or in general, when people talk about Programiz being a company that is supporting the idea of teaching coding to as many people as possible. So this whole idea, I think this goes back to that question of pricing, right? That should the traditional barriers of this credit card based access exist? If you look at a lot of the new tools, Lovable, I don't know what Cursor, but Lovable and ChatGPT, they have this generous free tier. They give a lot of value for free. But once you start becoming a pro user, they have certain blockages, and then it's not like Netflix where you can't even watch a single Netflix movie without paying. So I think these new business models, I like these, that you're giving certain value for free. But that's only until they reach a certain critical mass. One day, these generous free tiers might not exist, or they might, like Google still has a generous free tier in Gmail. So time will tell what business models will survive and which one will thrive.
Okay. I want to talk about a couple of more things there. One is about how do you see, so the tech landscape in Nepal is growing. There are new things that are coming up, but I still see we are building, like you've been building a tech company in Nepal for such a long time, out of Nepal. We are building a tech company right now. What I see is that Nepal, incredible place for building MVPs. You can meet people very easily. You can test your products very easily, create value very, very easily. And then you can make a process that can actually lead to a level that, okay, now this is a workable flow that can generate revenue, generate value. This is something that is good. Once you hit that point, I am not seeing this as a great place for us to, one, build a product of global scale. Second, market as well, right? There's not enough market. And then globally, the signal is not strong enough that a tech product building out of Nepal as of today, in 2025, the signal is not strong enough, right? You've built a company from here for such a long time. How do you see that scenario right now?
100%. I think a lot of people ask where this software is from. Right. And having Silicon Valley roots or Bangalore roots definitely helps with investment, with trust. Because would you buy a software from Cambodia, for example? I'm not saying Cambodia is a bad country, but
it's a great country.
It's a great country. I've been there. It's a beautiful country. But would you trust Cambodia to host your data and keep it secure and have that innovation in tech? And maybe I'm heavily biased. Maybe Cambodia is great in technology,
but the signal is not.
But the signal is not, right? But the signal is
reality.
It's the same. It's a reality for us. We need to admit it. We need to work towards changing that signal as well. But in parallel, I think for now, I would also recommend that the distribution engine from Nepal to the world is not very strong. A lot of companies have responded by opening branches or having partners outside, and that's a common pattern. I think we are the only product with no outside partners that has grown to the scale in SaaS from Nepal, at least from B2C SaaS. Right.
Do you think with a more supportive ecosystem, the adoption would be a lot more fast?
100%. Because even India was in this position 10 years back, where they were doing lots of outsourcing, building products for the world, but there was not a lot of homegrown startups. Right. We're just behind. It's just a matter of time.
And maybe like 10 years ago and now, the access to information, whatever. Let's say, for example, I can sit and watch a Y Combinator video every day in the morning if I want, and if I'm a startup founder, just to understand the nuances. The access to information is a lot more than 10 years ago. But I think the problems are more with the legal holdings and how things are.
Not just legal holdings. I think even the culture. I tried to sell a software in Nepal. So it was a workflow software for accountants and lawyers. Right. So it was built on a model called I don't remember the name, but the idea was we would budget the time required to deliver a project. And it's called engagement economics. It was started by EY, and it's very popular in the consulting world. And we wanted to bring it to Nepal. So the idea was, before you start a project, you would budget the number of hours of every person in the company, and even the CEO would have an hourly rate,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
And then at the end of the project, you would look at visualizations of what was the budgeted cost and what was the actual cost. And for example, that would give you signals, right? That why did my expensive resource was required more than budgeted, and all that. So we wanted to make accountants and lawyers and who bill by the hour, those industries more productive. And I went to the market, try to inspire people to buy, try the software and all that. People would just not try it. They would keep on complaining that and I understand their frustration. It's something new. Trying software is something new. And that is because we have never bought software as a culture. Right? I think that's not the problem. Now in India, even in India, the Indian products like Postman, for example, built out of India, but sold to the world. Zoho, built out of India, sold to the world. For a long time, they did not focus on India as a market. Right? But now what happened is now again, India as a proper market for business software, for B2B software is expanding. I think there was a news that Zoho, I think India is now the second highest market or something like that. But point being, this resurgence in B2B software always comes after some level of adoption in B2C. Like this is coming now because, Swiggy, Paytm, this whole ecosystem of paying digitally for products and services, Netflix, Spotify, all of these came, Ghana, right? They created this habit that I pay a recurring subscription for a product or a service that provides me value. And when people start doing that in the day-to-day life, when they go into, it's people at the end of the day. And then, now Canva, for example, someone tries to sell me Canva, something like Canva, and I see, $20 a month. It will make me X amount of productivity. I'll just buy it because the habit is already there. So the barrier in Nepal is not legal, I feel. It is more habit.
I think from a legal standpoint, let's say, for example, I think habit, I agree. And I think as both of us had enough experience in India, looking at India from like 10, 12 years ago, and now is like totally different landscape. What I see here is that just looking at from a legal standpoint, right? Let's say, for example, now like Nepalese tech professionals or non-tech professionals can own equity or like have their offices outside Nepal as well, right? Just that. Just imagine, like before this, I think there are a lot of nuances to actually clear in this scenario. But just imagine over the last 10 years, 15 years, the amount of Nepalese people that might have worked in US companies, who might have legally adopted ESOPs in legal companies. And then when those companies went IPO, the amount of wealth that could have trickled down into the country through those people would have been massive, right? And I think right now we are showing great promise. But then let's say, for example, if I am a founder, I'm a founder right now building a tech company out of Nepal. Do I wait for 5 years to actually build a product of global scale? Or once I build an MVP, I need to find a way to actually start serving a global market? Because one is showing, the legal side is showing promise. The market is also showing promise. Both have not intersected at a level where Nepal is a market for tech business as such, right? So I think, let's say, just coming to the end of this point, I'm a student. I'm a tech student right now. I'm building. I want to build something with a couple of my friends right now. How should I think about building a technology company out of Nepal? In the end,
I think it's the same question of how do you build a technology company anywhere in the world. Is you find a problem that's interesting, that that's interesting to you. I think one of the most important things is it has to be interesting to you, because you're going to have to slog 18 hours a day in the beginning days until you get that first customer, first paycheck, right? Another is get out, meet customers, meet people. I think I want to see a lot more. The example that came to your mind was this college student, right? I think I want to see the opposite. I want to see people who have been in the industry for 15 years, 20 years, who have deep domain expertise, them to be founders of companies, because they can call 5 people and say, you know what, I built this software. And then with AI, we talked about this, right? They can, the barrier to building the software is lesser. Before, you would need a 10-member team probably, or 5-member team to build the software. Now, one full stack developer with AI can build it. So almost, I think one thing that will happen is a lot of tech people who were employees in companies, they will become co-founders with domain experts, because again, less people are needed to build software. At least less people are needed to build the MVP or test something to test, right? So I think a lot of the dynamics will change. But to go back to your question of how do you build a global tech company in Nepal, starting from scratch today? I think it's hard. I think I would recommend a young person who is thinking of that to just join a company, because the market is bad right now. Right. So I think I'm not trying to discourage anyone from entrepreneurship, but even me, right? I worked for 1.5 years, 2 years before I started. So I think that's still the best route, is get a few years of experience. And if you see that bug in yourself, that I'm not happy, even after making enough money, there's something bigger that I aspire for. I think that's the route. Student entrepreneurship, I've seen it. I've not seen it succeed a lot.
But then let's say, for example,
in Nepal,
because like let's say when we see YC, but when we see YC, if you see how YC has been operating in the last year, they're going to a lot more younger crowds, because for them is that what is our best chances to make billion-dollar companies? Who can build it? And I think that and that betting on young talent, we're identifying them early on and then supporting them, right? I think in Nepal that ecosystem is not there that supports young talent, nurtures them. Let's say, for example, if a young talent goes and talks to someone for investment, the first question they're gonna get in most cases is that how much revenue you have, right? YC application does not even ask that. It asks that question, but then that is not the only parameter. There is a lot of impetus that is given to the team. There is a lot of impetus that is given to the idea. There is a lot of and ideas can change. Like in your experience in building Programiz.pro, like there has been so many pivots. So I think, but then again, like I'm always growing to the idea that it is a great place to build an MVP. And that is a large market as such because I think us as a country will probably need to understand our strengths as well and play out of that in the global market. Like just because it is really, really good in Nepal, it's not given that it will work globally as well. And then only if we think very globally, address a global problem, build the initial versions here, till the ecosystem becomes better. Like we might not know in a couple of years, government comes with like great initiatives, and suddenly the ecosystem is very, very ripe. People are getting supported, funded, and everything. So that might change. But then in current scenario, I think probably that's the thing. I wanted to also go back to the other conversation that we had in the beginning about Programiz.pro having a community first and then building a product. I see this as a lot of struggle with content creators as well. Let's say, for example, I'm a content creator, and then I have a large audience. So I have eyeballs. And then the only probably revenue stream that I have is that I go with brands, brand collaboration, and then there is some other couple of revenue streams that is tied up here. But then I think there is a big opportunity for influencers and content creators to use AI to build products that become the engine of their community, just like probably it became for Programiz. So in your lens, any content creator today, how could they get started? Let's say if you were a content creator who is building content in fashion, and then you did not have programming skills, how would you go about it?
Usually, I think there's always a backstory whenever a content creator comes out with a brand. I feel, I always imagine a backstory where someone who already has the product reaches out to them and, says, let me put your name on it. And then you will be at the front. But obviously the formulation, like for example, when a celebrity says, this is my perfume. Do you think they're going and, with all the beakers and formulating the perfume? Of course not. They're just putting the name on it. Maybe they had a say in choosing the notes. But people are buying the brand. They're buying the aura of the celebrity, right? So I think the best bet still for now is, and this is something that I don't see enough is these collaborations between domain experts. I keep on repeating this, right? That the techies and the domain expert need to come on the same stage. I feel like either it's software built by domain expert that's not scalable, that's not nice, that's the software we get, or the only choices we have right now, or it is software by techies that does not have enough content. I'll give you one example. For example, Spotify. Right. The value of Spotify is just not just the platform that has, for example, you can upload a song that everybody else in the world can listen to. But if you look at Spotify, the number of playlists that they have hand curated, right? There's so many playlists that someone at Spotify are hand curated. Maybe there's AI helping, but there's so much curation of content. And this is something that I try to tell my team as well, that content and technology and domain expertise, when you marry these three things, like YouTube, for example, to motivate creators, it has this silver play button, gold play button, right? As a platform, YouTube never. Do you think YouTube needs that?
No.
As a platform, it's not needed. But then, at the end of the day, it's humans who are watching the videos. It's humans who are creating the videos. So they need to motivate people. So I think it's a mix. It's getting that mix right. Right. So one of the things that look at all those amazing software in the world. It's always that getting that mix. Right.
Yeah. I think again. I think when we look at again coming back to the influence or the audience that they have with them. I think with AI, if they can build economic engines that are very, very conducive to them. Again, the same conversation, where let's say the perfume, they might have a say on the note, right? But then let's say right now, they might create so many digital products using the AI tools that can create an MVP to a certain level, and then probably they can collaborate with, as you mentioned, technology, and then see like how that can come together, and then build a brand out of it, because it is a problem, right? Let's say, for example, creators creating a lot of content, and then there is a monetization process to it, definitely, which is large in itself. But then I think AI produces this opportunity to create an engine, and I think that engine can actually become a product in itself, and then probably have a business of itself and things like that. But again, I think these are like probably territories that will be experimented and seen. Very what is coming to your mind right now?
Lots of ideas, but we are in this weird phase as Programiz, where we have been saying that there was value in learning the syntax of code. And now there's a huge question mark on that value. Right. But then there's this another narrative that's going on is, why should I outsource my core skill to AI? For example, again, it's all about the employment market, I feel. For example, if everybody is going to be able to vibe code, and out of 10 applicants, 9 applicants know how to vibe code, and 1 also knows Python and knows how to deploy a piece of software, who am I going to hire? Right? So you have to see, how can I get above market? And learning the nuts and bolts of software is always going to keep you afloat in any competitive market.
Especially when software is getting bigger and bigger.
Exactly. The more complex. What a piece of software can do is the expectation of MVP is changing, right? Now you can't just build a form and then call it an MVP. Now people are talking about minimal lovable product, or these ideas of there's certain polish that's required even in V0 or V0.1. So expectations are growing, and I feel like you should not, still the time is not there where you can bet your entire career on AI. So I feel like knowing the nuts and bolts, there's still a lot of value. But what's changed nowadays is, again, I talked about we've built a project called Wall of Inspiration, where we're teaching people how to build projects, right? Now, syntax is not enough for a portfolio, because companies used to look for Python engineers, and because there was value in being a Python engineer, because someone needed to translate domain knowledge into code. And it was an incredibly inefficient process, that's why you needed lots of people to do it. Now, because that's going to be more efficient, Now you will need people who can actually build stuff. Or the people who are going to survive in this economy are the ones who can build stuff, who can be generalists, right? So I think that's the direction we've taken. And I think AI presents a huge opportunity to become more efficient. Again, I mentioned to build hyper-personalized software for just my grandmother, or and you're seeing, and this is not just about software, but I've been seeing people, for example, building a storybook using Manus AI for their child, using the context, their local context, right? You just describe the story that you want to tell, and then it creates a story. So even storytelling at scale with custom images. So I'm really excited, actually.
I think maybe it also does not need scale, right? It's like creating something for value, and the value can be for 5 people, and maybe it's fine. And that's fine. That value could be for like 5 million people. It's still fine. I think I think, as you mentioned, it's a very, very exciting time. Very, very exciting. And a lot of unanswered questions. Just to wrap up today's discussion, and I'm pretty sure we'll do this one again, and then a totally different conversation is going to pop up. But then today, let's say for any non-technical person, so one key skill that you see for a non-technical person to really grab right now, and one key skill for a technical coder, technical person who is coming from a coding programming background, like what are those skills that you see as very important?
I think for both the answer is the same, which is empathy. I think the nature of leadership is. I'll give you one example. I was talking to a friend, and he was saying how his program is doing. And I said, AI is killing us because the Programiz.com model is dying, obviously. Our revenues are the lowest they've been in the last 5 years, all of that, like the sad sob story, right? And he said, you know what? At least you know how AI is going to affect you. There are entire industries who have no idea where AI is almost going to be a termite. It's going to come from inside, right? For you, at least the impact of AI is explicit, and you can do something about it.
It's actually very important. I mean, as you're mentioning this, and because we work with a lot of organizations in skilling AI people, and then I'm having different images in my head where this could actually be true. But then, I think like for an organization right now to actually understand how AI is going to affect, I think that's multiple steps forward already.
So we go back to Charles Darwin. The species that adapt are the ones that will survive. So how can we build empathy? How can we build this adaptability? That question of Jim Collins as well, right? If I were to put this person in another role, would they still have the willingness and the competence to excel in it? And you see that every day, right? Like people who excel in things seem to excel everywhere. People who struggle seem to struggle everywhere. So I think that sort of statement is going to be more true across the board as AI increases the difference between who is a productive and happy employee and who lags behind.
Amazing, man. I think the last point, like it's something that I keep very close to me, that how you do one thing is like how you do everything. It's just the expression of the person in multiple domains. Like if you compromise here, you'll compromise there as well, but there's no two sides to it. Thank you so much for your time, but also for the support that you have given us for this entire course. I think this we are I would still say very early in the entire adoption of AI here in Nepal globally as well. But then I think you've been a force to support that. Like it's like you are very open to even talk about how it is affecting your business as well. But then but when you see initiatives there, you have been very proactive to support that as well. So really want to echo that for you to be that individual in our ecosystem here. So thank you so much.
Thanks for this time.
And then obviously there's going to be a next time. So all right. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Thank you.